par Boris Becker. Et aujourd'hui, il avait la possibilité de ce joueur qui compte cette défaite.
In the world of tennis, where teenage prodigies often explode onto the scene, Mark Woodforde was an uncommonly slow starter. It took him an incredible 38 Grand Slam singles appearances just to reach one semifinal, a record for slow progress that many mocked. Yet, this same boy, who once picked up balls for his father, would become an unexpected legend, winning 12 Grand Slam doubles titles, an Olympic medal, the Davis Cup, and even getting a statue erected in his honor at Melbourne Park. Today, he lives in Rancho Mirage, California, in an exclusive community where golf and tennis converge, a lavish lifestyle that is hard to imagine given his humble beginnings. From being a perceived late bloomer to a legacy builder, his journey raises a compelling question. Did Mark Woodforde's true power lie in his golden trophies, or in his tenacious ability to overcome the world's skepticism? Let's now explore the remarkable life of the Australian tennis legend, Mark Woodforde. From ball boy to global legend, on September 23, 1965 in Adelaide, the capital city of South Australia, a boy named Mark Raymond Woodforde was born into a family where tennis was a daily presence. Their small family home was not far from the Marion area, where his father, Ray Woodforde, had spent nearly 4 decades with the South Park Home Tennis Club, to the local community. Ray was more than just a coach. He was a living symbol of dedication to the sport. In Mark's childhood memories, that tennis court was his second home. On sun-drenched Adelaide afternoons, the boy would follow his father to the court, initially sitting on the sidelines, watching the older students practice. His eyes tracked every racket swing and every bounce of the ball on the hard court, as if recording every detail in his mind. Then, one day, Ray placed a small racket in his son's hand. The first shots were clumsy, but from that moment, the seed of passion took root. The Woodforde family wasn't wealthy or more affluent than others, but Mark had something far more valuable in an environment where tennis wasn't just a sport but a way of life. His father patiently coached him, his mother lovingly prepared their meals, and the tennis community around South Park Home wrapped its arms around the young boy. With every practice and every fall, Mark learned about patience, discipline, and belief. As time passed, the blonde teenager grew up with a simple yet fierce desire to step outside of Adelaide and challenge himself on a bigger stage. No one at the time could have imagined that this schoolboy would become an Olympic champion and have a statue erected in his honor at Melbourne Park. But that story was just beginning, starting from those days of chasing balls on a suburban court. And then, just as he turned 18, a decision changed everything. He left the peaceful life of his hometown to embark on the brutal professional tour. A new journey began, one that carried the childhood lessons Mark Woodforde would never forget. The one who was considered a shadow and a twist of fate. In 1984, at age 18, Mark Woodforde left Adelaide to officially begin his professional career, with his left-handed forehand and characteristic two-handed backhand. He quickly made his mark on the international tennis scene. Initially, Mark focused on singles and won 4 ATP titles, including some memorable victories in his hometown of Adelaide. But his singles career was never an easy road. It wasn't until the 1996 Australian Open, after 38 Grand Slam appearances, that he reached the semifinals, a record of perseverance in tennis history. However, Mark's destiny was not in singles. His true light came when he partnered with Todd Woodbridge, forming a duo the world would come to know as the Woodies. Their chemistry was nearly perfect. Mark's refined backhand complemented Todd's quick reflexes at the net. From then on, the tennis world witnessed a dominant era in doubles. Throughout the 1990s, the Woodies won 61 ATP titles, including 11 men's doubles Grand Slams. They won Wimbledon 5 consecutive times, captured 2 titles at the Australian Open, 2 at the US Open, and completed their collection with the French Open in 2000. Mark, once seen as a shadow in singles, now stood at the pinnacle with his partner, recognized as one of the greatest doubles players in history. The peak wasn't just at the Grand Slams. At the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, Mark and Todd brought home a gold medal for Australia, and the image of them raising the flag high amid roaring cheers is seared into the memories of an entire generation. 4 years later, at the 2000 Sydney Olympics, in front of their home crowd, they concluded their Olympic journey with a silver medal, a deeply emotional farewell. In 1999, Woodforde played a significant role in Australia's Davis Cup victory, ending the country's 13-year championship drought. In April 1996, he achieved his highest singles ranking, number 19 in the world, in doubles. Mark held the number 1 ranking for 84 weeks, a testament to his consistency and dominance. When he officially retired in 2000, he left with over $8.5 million in prize money, a result not only of talent but also of resilience. After the court lights dimmed, Woodforde didn't disappear. He became the head coach of the Australian Fed Cup team in 2003 and continued his career in television as a commentator for Fox Sports and ESPN. In 2010, along with Todd Woodbridge, he was honored with a bronze statue at Melbourne Park and was inducted into both the Australian Tennis Hall of Fame and the International Tennis Hall of Fame. 4 years later, the legendary duo received the Philippe Chatrier Award, the highest honor from the International Tennis Federation. Today, Mark Woodforde lives with his family in Rancho Mirage, California. He remains involved with tennis. He may no longer hold a racket on center court, but his voice still resonates at international conferences, in commentary booths, and through the reverence of his fans, from a ball boy at South Park home to a global tennis legend. Mark's journey is proof that glory only comes to those who are patient enough to wait and brave enough to seize it. $1 million earnings and a luxurious lifestyle. Over his 16-plus years as a professional, Mark Woodforde earned more than $8.5 million in prize money from the ATP Tour, an incredible sum given the tennis landscape of the 80s and 90s, when prize money hadn't yet exploded as it has today. This income, combined with sponsorship deals and the Woodies fame, helped Mark build a comfortable life after retiring from the sport. The heart of that luxurious life is in Rancho Mirage, California, an area known as a paradise for the elite. Rancho Mirage is famous not only for its mild climate and stunning desert mountains, but also as the chosen home for countless wealthy individuals and Hollywood stars. Former President Gerald Ford chose Rancho Mirage as his final retreat, while Frank Sinatra, Bob Hope, and Lucille Ball all owned villas there. Within this exclusive community, Mark Woodforde and his wife, Erin, chose Mission Hills Country Club, a gated, luxurious community where properties are valued at millions of dollars and up. Mission Hills is not just a residential area, it's a symbol of an aristocratic lifestyle, home to legendary golf courses and tennis courts once used by greats like Rod Laver, Martina Navratilova, and Pete Sampras for practice. For Mark, it's not just a place to live, but a space that seamlessly connects his career and personal life within the expansive grounds. He can step out of his villa and, with just a few steps, be on a golf course or simply enjoy his private pool and lush greenery. Mark's home at Mission Hills features the classic resort-style architecture of Southern California, an open design with large windows that let in natural light, a spacious garden, and a private pool inside. The decor is elegant, prioritizing comfort over ostentation. This reflects his true nature, a tennis legend who isn't flashy about his wealth. The luxury here comes from a serene, private living space that is deeply connected to the sports community. Unlike many of his contemporaries who eagerly collected Ferraris, Lamborghinis, or Rolls-Royces to show off their status, Mark Woodforde never made headlines for owning extravagant supercars. He chose a more refined and practical approach in his public appearances. Mark is often associated with iconic European luxury brands that are understated rather than flashy, such as Mercedes-Benz and BMW. These are also the car brands popular among the elite in Rancho Mirage, providing both comfort for long trips and a suitable image for an international tennis consultant and businessman. Sources within the California tennis community have revealed that Mark owns a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, a sedan widely regarded as the gold standard for luxury. He has also been spotted driving a BMW X5 SUV on family trips. These choices reflect Mark's lifestyle. He prioritizes comfort, safety, and iconic branding over chasing speed or a flashy image. The difference is clear. While many of his contemporaries, like Boris Becker or John McEnroe, appeared with sports supercars, Woodforde chose a more modest path that still maintained an undeniable level of class and luxury. Interestingly, despite his time in the spotlight, Mark has not pursued ostentatious displays of wealth like owning yachts or a supercar collection, at least. No public records show it. Instead, his luxury lies in his refined lifestyle, morning golf games at Mission Hills, business trips all over the world, and the image of a Hall of Famer who can step onto the stage at any ITF international conference. Mark Woodforde's wealth isn't just measured in dollars or real estate. It's also measured in his living legacy, the bronze statue at Melbourne Park, the Order of Australia medal, and an enduring reputation in tennis history. These are the intangible assets that even the super rich cannot buy. Today, looking at his lifestyle, one sees a combination of a glorious sports career and a luxurious, classy personal life. Mark Woodforde turned the light of center court into the brilliant light of a high-end lifestyle, one that is both luxurious and inextricably linked to tennis, family, and irreplaceable spiritual values. The woman behind the Wimbledon glory. After years of chasing titles in the tennis world, Mark Woodforde found his true home. In '99, at the height of his doubles career, he married Erin, the woman who had supported him not just on his international travels, but also in building their family. This was a pivotal moment, marking his transition from a professional tennis player living in the spotlight to a man who cherished his home life. Their family later welcomed two daughters, Elise and Maddie. The four of them chose to live in Mission Hills Country Club in Rancho Mirage, California, a community that is not only luxurious, but also infused with the spirit of tennis and golf, as if the sport continues to be woven into Mark's life. There, his mornings often begin with the sound of a golf club hitting a ball and end with a cozy family dinner, a completely different scene from the stressful days at Wimbledon or the US Open. The bond between Mark and Erin isn't just limited to their private life. They also appear together at major tennis events. One of the most beautiful moments was seeing the couple attend the Wimbledon Champions Dinner in 2015, where Mark, who had lifted 6 golden trophies at the All England Club, returned as a legend with Erin by his side, smiling softly. It was a testament to the fact that behind all the fame, there is always a quiet but enduring love providing a solid foundation. Mark Woodforde's marriage is not a loud story, nor is it a relationship paraded in front of the media. It's much like his playing style, steadfast, resilient, and brilliant when it needs to be. If his career gave him a bronze statue at Melbourne Park, his love and family gave him a different kind of monument, one where his heart is in the right place and happiness is measured by warm moments, not trophies. The truth behind the crack, behind his calm smile and gentlemanly demeanor. Mark Woodforde was also involved in his share of controversy. Fame is never solitary. It often brings with it cracks. And for Mark, those fissures are still mentioned by fans. The biggest crack was with Todd Woodbridge, his partner who helped create the Woodies, the legendary, unbeatable duo of the 1990s. On the court, They were like two perfect halves, winning every major and minor title. But after they retired, their relationship gradually faded. Australian media have often stated that the two no longer speak, a fact that has left fans with a sense of sadness. The question of why has never been clearly answered, leaving a void for fans who saw the legendary duo become two parallel paths. One also cannot forget Mark's conflict with Goran Ivanišević after the 1998 US Open. A rare video captured Woodforde's public dissatisfaction, sparking a feud that is still seen as a rare blemish on his otherwise clean career. No one remembers the details clearly, but the feeling remains of Mark Woodforde who, for the first time, showed a sharp edge, a stark contrast to his usual calm demeanor. After he retired, he continued to be outspoken as a commentator. When Nick Kyrgios caused a stir with his comments about Jannik Sinner and Iga Swiatek, Mark didn't hesitate to criticize him, saying Kyrgios has alienated some of the other players with his rhetoric. This was not just a personal remark, it was a statement that sent shockwaves through the tennis community, as it's rare for a legend to publicly take down a contemporary star in the media. Even within Australian tennis circles, Mark was involved in controversy. He publicly disagreed with Davis Cup captain Leighton Hewitt over the organization and future of the tournament. The media called it a $4.7 billion disaster, and Mark Woodforde's name once again appeared at the center of a storm of skepticism and criticism. These scandals were never enough to erase his achievements, but they showed another side of him. Mark Woodforde was not just a crowd pleaser. He dared to speak his mind, to face issues, and to hold his ground. And perhaps it is this honesty, sometimes controversial, that has kept his name alive for decades. An immortal legacy when a name is carved in bronze. If you look at the numbers, Mark Woodforde's resume is already legendary. It's doubles Grand Slam titles, 5 mixed doubles Grand Slams, 4 singles titles, an Olympic gold medal from Atlanta in '96, a silver from Sydney 2000, and the Davis Cup in 1999. In doubles, he held the world #1 ranking for 84 weeks, a testament to his rare consistency. But Mark's legacy isn't just in the statistics, it is also deeply embedded in the memories of his fans. The image of the Woodies lifting the Wimbledon trophy 5 consecutive times has become a symbol of a dominant era. The cheers that rang out at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics when the Australian flag was raised with the gold medal are still considered one of the greatest moments in Australian sports history, with the 1999 Davis Cup victory. Mark and his teammates ended a 13-year drought for an entire nation. His achievements are also commemorated with prestigious honors. In '97, Mark was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia for his special contributions to sports. In 2010, he and Todd Woodbridge had a bronze statue of them erected at Melbourne Park and were inducted into both the Australian Tennis Hall of Fame and the International Tennis Hall of Fame. The pinnacle of recognition came in 2014 when he and Woodbridge received the Philippe Chatrier Award, the highest honor from the International Tennis Federation, given only to those who have left a lasting impact on the sport. But Mark didn't stop at personal glory. He continued to contribute to the community, serving as the head coach of the Australian Fed Cup team 2003 to 2004, mentoring the next generation, and passing on his experience to female players. On Fox Sports and ESPN, he provided audiences with sharp insights, spreading the love of tennis to millions. More recently, Mark has appeared at international forums as a speaker. In 2024, he officially opened the ITF World Participation Conference, which brought together delegates from 131 countries to discuss the future of global tennis. With the theme Tennis, the Sport for Life, the event affirmed that Woodforde is not just a legend of the past, but also a person helping to shape the sport's future. Mark's social impact is also reflected in his simplicity and commitment to the community. From Rancho Mirage, California, where he lives, Woodforde continues to serve as a tennis consultant, while also participating in fundraising and community events to encourage a new generation to get involved in sports. For him, philanthropy doesn't require loud statistics. Sometimes, it's just about dedicating time, sharing experience, and inspiring young players. A future for the legend who never stopped. 2 decades have passed since Mark Woodforde ended his playing career, but his future is not one of quiet stillness. On the contrary, it is unfolding in a different way as a bridge between his past legacy and the next generation. In recent years, Mark has been a regular on television, serving as a commentator for Fox Sports and ESPN. There, he not only analyzes every shot, but also shares the spirit of discipline and strategy that helped him and Todd Woodbridge dominate the doubles world. At the same time, Mark accepts roles as a tennis consultant, working with various organizations to expand access to the sport for young people. One of his most notable recent steps occurred on October 31st, 2024, when Woodforde officially opened the ITF World Participation Conference in London. This conference gathered delegates from 131 countries under the theme Tennis, the sport for life. In that moment, Mark was no longer a player seeking personal victory, but a voice representing a global sport and affirming that tennis can and must become a lasting legacy for all generations. In 2025, he continues to be a guest on the podcast Tennis Talk 101, where he discusses athlete development. These conversations clearly show Mark's direction. He has chosen a quiet but powerful path, sowing the seeds for the future of tennis through his experience. Rather than in the flashy glare of the spotlight, in his daily life, Mark describes himself on his social media account with a simple bio: tennis consultant, Aussie rules follower Go Carlton, golf die hard, father of 2 teens, however, business class only, all over. The simple words clearly reflect the 3 pillars of his future tennis: family, and a luxurious but refined lifestyle. What's next for Mark Woodforde? Perhaps a larger role within the International Tennis Federation, a tennis development project in Australia, or simply happy years with Aaron and their 2 daughters at Mission Hills Country Club. But what is certain is that his future will continue to revolve around the immortal bond of tennis. For if past has etched him as a Grand Slam legend, the future will recognize him as a legacy builder, a person who helped tennis transcend achievement to become a living inspiration for generations to come. From a ball boy chasing balls on a suburban court in Adelaide, Mark Woodforde stepped out into the world, bringing with him ambition and perseverance, eventually becoming one of the greatest doubles players in history. More than 17 Grand Slam titles, an Olympic medal, a Davis Cup, and an eternal bronze statue at Melbourne Park. All of it creates an indelible legacy. But Mark's greatest value is not just in the trophies. It is also in a fulfilling life with his wife Erin and 2 daughters, a luxurious but grounded lifestyle in Rancho Mirage, and a bold spirit that dares to step into even the most challenging controversies. Above all, he continues to inspire through his roles as a consultant, commentator, and international speaker, planting the seeds for the future of tennis. Looking back on his journey, one realizes that Mark Woodforde was never just half of the Woodies. He was always himself a legend forged by doubt, who rose with his own character and left a legacy with his whole heart. His future, therefore, did not end on the day he retired, but continues to be written on every court, in every young player, and in the admiring eyes of tennis lovers all over the world. We are not responsible if you misunderstand or misapply this content. Please use your own judgment, verify the information, and consume it selectively. If you like what you see, give us a like, comment, share, or subscribe to our channel. It's the fuel that keeps us going to tell more amazing stories about other tennis superstars.